You're comfortable, Adi?
Yeah, good.
Adi, should I call you Adi or Eddie?
I guess if you're appealing to Indian audiences, I mean, Adi's probably the, obviously being Adithya, but I mean, if it's Kiwi audiences, then Eddie's.
Eddie.
Yeah.
It depends what accent you want to use, right? Yeah.
What do you prefer? Because I think Shouvik calls you Adi or
Eddie.
Eddie.
Yeah.
So Adi is better.
Yeah, I mean, everyone would call me Eddie.
What do your parents call you?
My parents actually call me Dittu, which is like a...
Oh, ask over there. No. Hold on.
Okay.
So it's all recording. It's all recording.
Oh, are we?
Yeah. Sorry.
Ruzbeh.
It's just unfiltered, right?
It's just unfiltered.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, my parents call me Dittu because it's actually I can't 100% say whether it's true or not, but I think it's a nickname that my grandfather gave me.
Okay.
Growing up, and it's just stuck ever since. My parents don't even call me by my name. Like, just straight up. Yeah. Dittu, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think that's the thing with Indian pet names. Pet names is, I don't know if that's the Kiwi way of saying it, but nicknames is like my home name is Ruzu.
Yeah.
It's always end with U.
Yeah.
वो
I mean,
अपना लगता है.
that's with boys, I guess.
For
Like,
boys,
I'm
maybe.
Sandy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from Sandeep to Sandy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Which is so Kiwi, right? Like it's easy to say.
Easy to say.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So here we start now. Welcome to the Unfiltered Drive, the podcast that you've loved so much. You've given us awards, the Best Asian Podcast from New Zealand and Radio Awards that we've won just last week. This is me, Ruzbeh.
And this is Sandy.
And today it's a very special episode because the T20 World Cup fever is on. Sadly, not that much for New Zealand, but yes, India's still in the game. And
Come on, Ruzbeh.
And we are privileged. I think we're honored to have a Blackcaps in the house. Adi, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you.
How do you feel looking at New Zealand's World Cup
Straight
tour
away.
so far?
Straight away. No, I mean, obviously, like it's obviously not the ideal performance, and not the ideal outcomes that side was looking for. But I think it's just the nature of cricket, the nature of T20 cricket, right? Like people always talk about how kind of mercurial it is, or how how unpredictable it is. And I think especially with we talked about outside about the conditions and stuff, it actually brings a lot more teams into play with the unpredictable nature of the conditions, the pitches, playing in two different countries. And I think as well, like playing two very powerful nations realistically in Afghanistan and West Indies first up, like it's proven obviously to be difficult. I don't think that takes away at all from like the players in that side, though. I think those guys are they're the best that we have, and their proven track record over international cricket has been unbelievable. So I think it's just how cricket works. Five teams could win that World Cup realistically if you look at them. So many people.
I think
Actually, the match was very thrilling for the last over as well.
Yeah.
Ruzbeh and I, when we were watching it live, and we thought we can win this.
Yeah.
Because,
the way...
because last, for West Indies, last 2 overs, they scored 37 runs.
Yeah.
37 runs.
Yeah.
And we needed 42 runs to win in the last 2 overs, 2.5 overs or something. Like 2 overs, 3 balls.
Yeah.
And then last over was thrilling because first 2 balls sixes and we're like, oh, come on now.
Can this happen? Yeah.
We wished for a no ball.
Oh my God. But I think that's the nature of T20. Actually, that's the nature of World Cups because it's like one bad day and you're gone.
Yeah.
Like that's happened with Team India so many times in the World Cup. They play all throughout, they're playing well, and then suddenly with one match, that important match. We don't perform and we're out.
Exactly.
But see, that's our job. We'll do that because we're not on the ground playing. And we just
we can just talk about it.
But the real deal. So the reason I asked you straight up that question because we've heard off air right now that you've been media trained. So I wanted to get you all media trained out so that we can have an unfiltered chat. Yeah?
Okay, good.
I'm media trained too.
There you go. Brilliant. Yeah. Just a different side of media training.
Just a different side.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Eddie, getting into your personal journey. Now, you have you're born in Vellore.
Yeah.
And which is a very small town next to Chennai.
Yeah.
And then how old were you when you came to New Zealand?
I was 4, when
Okay.
my parents shifted over. Yeah.
Right. And your parents were into cricket? Like they loved watching cricket or?
My dad really loved cricket, and still does. He's obviously like big influence in my career. I mean, he was the one that kind of like instilled that passion and like the burning drive. I think as all kind of people of Indian descent, right? Like you know,
Passionate about
cricket
cricket.
fever's 365 all year round,
Yeah.
right? So I think I caught that at a very young age from dad.
So you're used to watching this jersey at home as well, right?
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. Yeah. So obviously, like family feuds when India plays against New Zealand, and like torn against like obviously dad's heroes of the past and obviously current with his son playing and those kind of sides and stuff. So it's always like a bit of a.
It must be
Like-
so tough for your dad, yeah.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
So your
Yeah.
dad been always a fan of Indian team.
Well, I mean, growing up, he watched. He was a part of the generation that
Sachin Tendulkar.
Yeah, and like he watched the World Cup in '83 when they first lifted the
Wow.
World Cup.
Yeah.
So like all of that
Oh,
kind of
wow.
stuff. Like, I think from a generational perspective, like that was his era. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like that's where he found the love for the game. So it's easy to see why. Like you see him nowadays. Like it's like okay, if my son's playing, okay, I'll support New Zealand. Like, but if not, I'm like, like should I not? Like yeah, because you see the blue jersey and you just takes him back to that. So yeah,
Yeah, because it's so difficult. Like, so I've been in New Zealand for almost 12 years plus.
yeah,
And so I've got a New Zealand jersey as well.
Yeah.
But when it's India and New Zealand playing, I don't know. My heart always says that, I want India to win.
For me, eventually it is very confusing right now.
Yeah.
Like I support both teams. Like
Oh, here we
Ruzbeh
go.
have seen
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So I am like, if New Zealand and India is playing, my heart now is with Blackcaps.
good. There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah.
I think that is because of the way the Blackcaps players are. Like,
Yeah.
like this is something that I wanted to touch. I don't know if I should say, but it's unfiltered, right?
It is unfiltered.
I'm just gonna
we can say
but
this.
This is the perception outside, okay? Sorry, okay, I'm just saying it right in the beginning. But they say that Blackcaps are not aggressive in terms of where, you don't feel like showing that aggression to Blackcaps. Like, you'll see Virat Kohli bash
And
all the
see
other
energy
teams,
and
but he will never show that aggression towards Blackcaps. And nor do we. Like, we never
Yeah.
feel like showing any aggression towards Blackcaps because they're just the sweetest. And Kane Williamson, I think, is the epitome of that. Even this match when against West Indies, he was so
Just very calm.
very calm, yeah. And that's such a beautiful quality. That's why I think New Zealand is the most loved team.
It is.
Yeah.
When I was growing up,
Yeah.
we used to love New Zealand. And
Yeah.
I remember because I used to wake up early in the morning in India, 4:30 a.m. or something of that sort. Test match over here, India used to get bashed.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
at that time, there used to be strong team. Like, even now, New Zealand's got a strong team. But at that time, Shane Bond, oh my
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
Shane Bond
Lightning,
used to
yeah,
scare
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And so I remember that memory. Like, New Zealand has always been very loved. Stephen Fleming.
Yeah.
He used
Yes.
to be the brand ambassador who used to go along with the ministers here to
Yeah.
India and,
Yeah.
And the Indian
promote.
team now
Yeah.
wants him as a coach
Wow.
as well.
Every rumors floating around about who's
Yeah.
the next Indian coach. So yeah.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to get to is that do you think that's somewhere like within the team where you guys are like, what's the attitude like?
I think it's very. I mean, I like the Kiwi side has that whole nice guys tag. I think like sometimes it gets confused for like that we care so much. You know what I mean? Like fierce competitors, like and everything like that. But I think the environment, especially from the small amount of time I've been in it, it's very just driven around like. Making sure that you do like you focus on your process. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of making sure that we do the things that we need to, and we could focus on having fun and actually like competing and being out there and representing the Fern, and kind of like the pride of playing for New Zealand and stuff like that. And like New Zealand's home for me, so like you go out there and you compete hard for New Zealand, but you don't like. I feel like there's a really fine balance between kind of like the whole I just think it's different makeup, right? Like with
Yep.
I think
I feel like
so.
it's a slightly different dynamic in India where you've got the hopes and dreams of
Yeah.
like billion people, like this that's pressure.
It's a religion over there.
Exactly. So it's a different dynamic of what cricket means to the people there. Do you know what I mean? Like, so as much as like, you know, like everyone in New Zealand loves cricket and all that, it's just a different beast altogether in India, and it is a beast, and that's why you see like the animosity and stuff, and you see the IPL and all this and everything like that. And I think that's kind of where that like real persona comes from, and led by obviously Kohli, right? Like, he's kind of the pioneer of that.
Even I noticed with the announcement of the team, how two kids, they did the announcement of the team.
Yeah.
Everyone, even in my friend circle in India, they loved it.
Yeah.
They're like, New Zealand always got a different way to represent them.
Yeah, and even like the kit and stuff, you know, like it's just like, I feel like it's just, it's like it's a personality trait of the New Zealand side that I think we play with really well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost, we always have that underdog status. We always have that like nice guy status. And then, you know, you come up against us more often than not, semi-finals, finals, and then we'll turn you over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
No,
Agree.
absolutely. No, I think one of the most toughest sides, New Zealand for sure, and I think great players. And to be honest, I am always supporting New Zealand when India's not playing.
Yeah,
Obviously,
of course.
but,
Terms and conditions apply.
Exactly,
but sometimes even when India's playing, and if I don't like the Indian team that's gone in, I was like, no, I want New Zealand to win today. Like, you know, that happens. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your journey. So, how did you get into? So you got into cricket because your father was into cricket, was watching cricket, and how did you end up like having an inkling towards the game?
I obviously, like, you know, through dad and stuff, and then you know, like, well, I mean, how far back do you want me to go? Like, you know,
like first time you held the bat.
like, so I mean, probably like with my dad, like in the backyard throwing balls at me and stuff, and obviously like a way to kind of connect with him as well. So it was like a medium to actually spend time with him and things and build your relationship that way as well. So that's something that we share, you know, a lot of. So that's kind of something that, you know, stands out to me in terms of our relationship. It's always cricket, and it's always surrounding all of our conversations, whether it's arguments or, you know, like theories about whatever. Like, it's always surrounding cricket. Like, so that's kind of something that sticks out from a young, and then like growing up playing a bit of club cricket, I just loved it, you know. Like, I used to just, you know, like as soon as I discovered what the internet was and things, and I'd just go on YouTube and watch cricket. Like, you know, I watch all the great games, like, you know, the India-Australia one where they won after the follow-on in Kolkata.
Rahul, Dravid and Lakshman.
The 05 Ashes, like all that. I used to just love it, and I watch it on repeat, you know, like, you know, New Zealand and that World Cup, you know, watching like Deepak Patel open the bowling and stuff and all of that kind of stuff. I used to just love it. So, and wake up, watch, you know, much like yourself, wake up early hours, and I was just obsessed with cricket, you know, like, so that's kind of where it all started. And then as I kept playing, I really loved it. And then my dad kind of, you know, put a lot of work into me at a young age. And then it's probably like not really until school cricket where I was put into, I went to Mount Albert Grammar under the tutelage of Mr. Tony Sale. And he was an awesome like mentor for me. He coached Auckland. And yeah, he was awesome, eh? Like, you know, I didn't really think a whole lot of myself, to be honest, but he kind of put me into the first 11 side in year 9, and then it's not exactly like a common thing to do, as only like a very young kid, small Indian kid as well. So like, you know, literally like the size of my pinky. So, you know, and bowling leg spin, and kind of like, you know, just did really well. And kind of from there, I kind of started being like, oh, this is cool. Like, can I get better at this? Can I do this? Can I do that? And then, you know, through the age group stuff, played some good stuff at district tournaments. And then my first real thing was probably that under 17 tournament, the Auckland, the national tournament where I played for Auckland in the under 17 category. And there was probably like a point where I kind of think about like kind of flick the switch in a way for me was
turning point.
Yeah, like I played a game, and I got a 6 for 12 off my 10 overs, and we won this game against it was Northern Districts, and that was kind of a good point, like a bit of a turning point for me, where I then straight from that category was put into the New Zealand under 19 setup.
Nice.
And from there I kind of just like, you know, was working my way through, and then I got the opportunity to, go to Australia with the New Zealand under-19s, and then, come home. I met, and that's kind of when I started working with my mentor, Taryn Nathula, who's also played for New Zealand,
Yes.
fellow leg spinner,
Yes.
and I actually just saw him like literally before I came here. I
okay.
did some bowling with him.
Oh.
Yeah, but and
So are you still bowling right now?
So yeah, I'm rehabbing at the moment. So I'm starting my loading. So
Okay.
I've done really well with some rehab so far, touch wood. But
Okay.
Yeah.
so I'm beginning to load myself up again, which is super exciting. But yeah, so from there, and then I worked a lot with Terrence. Still do credit a lot of my stuff to him. The work that we've done together, and he's put into me. And then that World Cup that in South Africa in 2020, the under-19 one.
Yeah.
That was completely different experience. Like it was awesome. Like playing against
Wow.
some genuine superstars. I played the Indian guys in our pool, playing with the likes of Jaiswal and Tilak Varma and Kartik Tyagi and all these guys. It was like, wow, this is awesome. Ravi Bishnoi, all these guys. I was like, wow, this is cool. Like, I was like, awesome story. I actually went out for lunch with Yashasvi Jaiswal. Like I was walking back to the dorm room after having lunch. Like I was full. Like honestly, I could have been pregnant. Like I was so full. And the day before, it was India-Pakistan semi-final. Jaiswal had just scored 100. And all the Indian boys this next day went to the safari because South Africa, except him, he stayed home because he was like quite tired and he wanted to have a day off. And so I'm coming home after eating like a mammoth amount of food or something, coming home, no chance I can eat anymore. I'm walking back to my room, and then like across the road I see him walking past me. And then he's like, "Oi, Ashok, come for lunch. And I was like, I can't say no. I was like, I was like, okay, sir, I'll come.
Okay, yeah.
And so I went, and then we had an awesome time, and like I still have him, and I speak to him every now and again, and like when he's got his 7 million people messaging him, whatever, like when he gets the chance to message me or something. So that's like cool, like awesome kind of moment in my life where like you build some cool relationships with other people and all the stuff, and that was awesome time. I guess after that I came home, and then I had another year of school left, so did that. After that I played club cricket for Suburbs, where I had an awesome season. Like again, Suburbs, a place that's very close to my heart, gave me an opportunity to play Prem cricket, and did really well there. Awesome club, we've got a pretty cool history of Blackcaps as well, like Martin Guptill, Ajaz, Jimmy Neesham, Jeet Raval, all these boys, like awesome guys, and just like awesome place, and had a really good season for them. On the back end of that season, I got a call up for the Aces, and so that's kind of where the kind of professional career, I guess, started. And then over that winter, I was offered a contract with Auckland, and haven't really turned back since then, which is
that's
amazing.
What a journey, man.
Yeah, man, it's been so cool. Listening to you. And what's your age? You're 21.
I'm 21. Yeah,
You're 21, and what?
I know.
My God, what
so many
experiences,
experience.
Wow. I just want to get into that piece where you were playing your first match for New Zealand.
Okay.
And that could be any team.
Okay.
Like any under 17, under 19, whenever. But you're representing the phone, and that moment where the stadium is packed and you're walking in and that chatter's going on, the noise.
Yeah.
Can you explain that feeling? Because I've always been in the crowd and I've thought, my God, what must be going on in the player's head?
The pressure or excitement.
What are you thinking?
What is it?
Like I don't know if you can explain that.
I've got two examples really. So one was like a really buzzy one where in the Under-19 World Cup we were playing a game. We actually played against we had Japan in our pool.
Okay.
And it was actually a rain-affected game, so we actually got abandoned. But it was awesome to see or to experience the first time actually singing the anthem. Like cameras and all that stuff, and you're like, the anthem and everything, and then. And like when it started, it was like loud, and it was like wow, like you're singing the national anthem of New Zealand, the place you call home, And it was just like
It's like goosebump moment,
Yeah,
right?
genuinely,
exactly.
straight up, like
I can feel that while I'm hearing this.
goosebump moment. Honestly,
Yeah.
like it was, and like it's like a movie where you're like replaying all the stuff, like training and stuff, and coming home with dad telling you how like you should have done this, you should have done that in the car and everything, and replaying all those things, and you're like, wow, like this is awesome, eh? Like that was a moment. But then the other one was in Dubai, right? So. Playing obviously international cricket was that's the youth international, but I guess proper international cricket, that's like actually achieving like my dream, like playing for New Zealand and playing international cricket is like a childhood dream. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. And you've got like it wasn't like packed or anything, it was just like one stand and there was like heaps of people in there. But they were just berserk, eh? Like,
Wow.
I bowled like a good first over and stuff, and then a good second over. Like we were on top at that point, and then in my third over, I think he hit a boundary, and I was like, and then it was just like, as it hits the boundary hoarding, it was like, wow, and I was like, whoa, like, jeez, like, oh my god, like, I was like, jeez, it's like, where have you guys been the last like 10 overs? Like.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, it's like these guys just woken up or something. It was unbelievable. But no, it's awesome. Like I think a lot of people like also say, how you're in the zone and all that stuff. I think you definitely are in the zone. Like you feel it and you can hear it. But I think when you're playing and you have an understanding of, what the game demands, what like what's my next job, what can I do now for the team, all that stuff. When you ask those questions, I think you feel it and you are aware of it. But it's like, okay, cool, that's fine. Like this is cool, it's fine. This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
And like that perceived pressure is like, well, there's only pressure because there's something on the line. There's something you could do that's, there's an opportunity to do something cool. Do you know what I mean?
But do you ever get like distracted by the crowd? Like
I think
something might be going on, conscious or something like that.
I think honestly, personally, like not really. Like I think it's just like I'm aware of it and I'm like, this is cool, or like like wow, that was loud, or and then I'm like, okay, sweet, like what's next? Do you know what I mean? Like kind of like, wow, okay, cool. Well, what's my job now?
Yeah.
Because it's like you almost, I feel like the moment you kind of like feed into it and go like, whoa, what is
Then you
that?
get even more.
And then you're like, ooh, like shoulders start to tense up, and then you start gripping the ball harder, as palms start sweating again, and you're like, oh geez, and then that's where like things can go wrong. But I think as long as you're, as far as I've experienced, I think as long as you're focused on kind of, aware of it, not to say that you don't realize it's going on, you definitely do. Anyone that says is lying, but you realize it, and then it's like, okay, cool, that's fine, that's there. Okay, cool. But this is my job now.
Because now when he says that, I can imagine, like that's your work, right?
Yeah.
You're working. Imagine you're working and there's like 50,000 people watching you work.
Watching you work,
Oh my
exactly. That's what
God.
I'm saying. And also have we have seen recently, like from the past few years, the players, they respond to crowd.
Yeah.
You
Like, you gotta play with it a bit,
they
like,
wave, they dance, stuff like that.
The thing about it, like it's like if you're on, Hum FM and stuff, it's like you've got people listening to you.
Yeah.
You can't see it.
Yeah.
But you realistically, there is a lot of people listening to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's a similar thing.
But
you might
we
not be
feel
able to
so
hear.
excited about it when any player respond. We are like, as audience, we are very excited.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yay.
It's like your glimpse of, like, wow,
Exactly.
this is cool. You get to.
I think now when you're
interact,
saying
right?
that, I can relate, because whenever a caller calls us, we get very excited. Like, oh, okay, someone's calling us. I'm just relating it back. But actually, you're right, because people are there, but you are there to do your job, so you'll have to focus there. And there are times when you'll have fun also with them. And
switch on, switch off, right?
Switch off.
Like if you know when to switch back on, it's all good. Like,
But do you are you anytime like in the field fielding, there's a lot of noise happening in the background, and then in the back of your head you're praying, please, I don't want a high catch over here. That's my like that would be something that I feel is a fielder's worst nightmare. Like lights are on, it's dark, and it's a pressure situation, crunch game, and then the ball is right up there.
I mean, it's like it's cool. Like that's what I mean. It's like you can have that. It's like that whole glass half full, glass half empty, right? Like it's also such a silly game, like it makes no sense. It's like it's all a confidence game. It's all a mental game. Like especially once you get to like somewhat of a level, it's like how can you put your mind in a position where you give yourself the best chance to execute, and that's the difference between someone playing club cricket to domestic cricket to international cricket is people miss less because they know, it's not necessarily always the skill. There's a skill element. Yeah, cool. That's fine, between club cricketer and Kane. But the difference between, like Kane and someone else is like just that his mind is amazing. He knows when to switch on, he knows when to switch off, and tactically, and it's all the thinking, right? It's just the way that he operates that's the reason why they're the best in the world.
I think it's also the number of hours you put in, right? It's
so
just
you build your library,
airtime.
right? Yeah, exactly.
The more number of hours you put in, the easier for you to shift.
It's like studying for an exam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the game is realistic to your exam. Like if you put in X
effort.
amount of
More
effort
hours.
over the term or the semester or whatever, then you're going to be in a position where you're sweet.
Yeah.
But if you don't, and then you get to the exam and you're like, please,
Yeah. With the training, so apart from physical training, do you guys get mental well-being training as well?
Yeah, so that's actually a really popular thing these days. I think there's more awareness around it, especially I think there was, in the past there might have been a stigma around men's mental health, two, just kind of just being like, oh, just get on with it, be tougher, be harder or whatever. But I think actually the mental, it's a science, so it's straight up a science. I have a psychologist, we have a psychologist at Auckland Cricket, and
okay,
there's that support is honestly unreal. I reckon the biggest kind of difference probably between I've gotten better in terms of skill set and I keep trying to get better, I keep trying to evolve, but I think it's just the perception of how you use your mind, how you view a game, how do you view a training, what's that perception, how can you almost disassociate the emotion from it.
Exactly.
So that you can actually do what you're meant to do. Do you know what I mean? When you're in that flow state, it's you don't care if there's something else or something. You're just zoned in and you're just doing your job. Do you know what I mean? You just get it done, and you're like, that's fine. If something happens, it happens. Okay, I'll deal with it. That's fine.
Yep.
It's just how can you get your mind? It's such a popular thing, and I think it's huge science to it, and it's not just in sport. I think it's everyday life, mental health, full stop. I think
100%. Yeah, we do talk about mental health a lot, and we've got a special podcast as well on that. It's called Depression, a Silent Killer, where we talk about all these different aspects of mental well-being as well.
Yeah.
And I think in cricket, just understanding the pressure that you guys are in with all the spotlights on you, it is something that is definitely, and I think it shows the way you talk and the way you present yourself, because at the age of 21 you are a much deep thinker compared to what I was at 30 maybe. No, because
maybe right now.
No, come on, yeah. Okay. I have improved
Give
now.
it to you.
I've got married, so my emotional intelligence has gone higher.
Yeah.
No, but okay. Talking about your personal game, so you like to call yourself as a bowler or a batsman?
So I am a bowler through and through. I love batting. I absolutely love it. I in an ideal world, I'd like to be a genuine all-rounder, but I am a bowler first and foremost. That's my number one skill.
Right. Yeah. And batting, what number do you bat at? I
come in later in the orders, so 8, 9 kind of situation, but hoping to get up there eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sitting in the stands, not stands, sorry, sitting in the where? What,
in the
dugout?
Yeah.
Dugout. Do you sometimes hope okay, now the target is only 50 runs remaining. I think I can.
Calculations.
Let them get out now. I think I can go and get.
No, I mean you never want that.
Yeah.
Because there's you just it's also niggly. You don't want to be in those situations where it's you go in and then you lose it again, and it's oh geez, now you're in a bit of trouble. It's you just especially in a chase, you just want to get it done.
Yeah.
Don't even screw around with it. Just get it done.
Just get it
Do you
done.
know what I mean?
That's what England. That's what England did today, right? So in today's
three
game,
overs.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
3 overs. 3.1.
Yeah,
crazy man. 3.1.
19 balls.
Oh god!
That's it.
You play another game on that afterwards.
Exactly.
Second innings.
Oh god!
Honestly,
imagine the players, the people who had paid money to go and watch the game.
Rip off. Ask for a refund. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Ask for a refund.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
It wasn't even a T10 game.
It wasn't
was
a
not,
T10
yeah.
game. Yeah,
It was
was,
not.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was pathetic, but okay.
Yeah.
England won anyway.
Yeah.
So talking about your personal journey so far. So you've spoken about T20, and T20 has been an important part. But what is your take on Test matches?
I think I'm a purist, so I think Test cricket is the pinnacle of the game. I love red ball cricket. I love the long format, and it's a very important part of my game. I think I pride myself on playing first class cricket. I want to play first class cricket for Auckland. I want to play Test cricket for New Zealand, and I want to be of that kind of caliber. And I think Test cricket, I think, is it's different now, right? Like, as in, people always used to say, like, Test cricket is the format where you get tested the most, and longevity in Test cricket shows that you're a great player. I think now the climate is changing, where there's two different ways to measure yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, someone like a Rashid Khan is hands down, or probably the best white ball, T20 bowler. Especially spinner ever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But when he plays Test cricket, he doesn't always have the same success.
Yep.
And also they don't play as much, right?
They don't play
so
as
I think
much
there's a
as well.
different conversation to be had there. I think in my eyes, all three formats, I'd love to be a triple format cricketer, and Test cricket is, something that I hold very, dearly to me. I love watching Test cricket. I love it. And, especially all those big series, and even whenever New Zealand plays Test at home and stuff, I love it. It's awesome.
It's actually a real form of cricket, we can say.
And it's the link to the heritage and the legacy of cricket.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a nice, refreshing.
It's evolved. It's evolved also, right?
Yeah.
Because Test cricket.
The last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, after T20 has been introduced, Test cricket has evolved. I feel now, talking about the T20 World Cup in the US and looking at the US pitches, I really want to see a Test match in the US. Why? Because the
last 2
pitch.
days. It lasts 3 days.
It might.
Yeah.
But at least it has that. I miss that time when we used to see Rahul Dravid and Lakshman hold the wicket. I'm sorry, I'm giving you Indian references.
No.
But Rahul Dravid and Lakshman, the test that you spoke about, they used to hold the wicket. And
the reason he was called Wall.
Exactly.
The reason he was called Wall.
Yeah.
Now it's changed. Australia, when we had the match at Gabba, India versus Australia, and Rishabh Pant did his heroics over there. It was a match winning, obviously.
Yeah.
Great history. But it was completely different to what Test cricket I've grown up watching.
Yeah.
It's evolved.
Yeah.
We would not imagine last innings, last day, and someone daring to score over 300.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So you would be also interested in Test cricket. I actually wanted to ask you this earlier as well. Who was the player that you would look up to when you were a kid?
Shane Warne, hands down.
Shane Warne.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Thought so because leg spinner, right?
Yeah, I think he's. Because I'm a leg spinner, but I think there's a conversation that he's the best player to have ever played the game, just in terms of what he achieved, and also the versatility of what he did, and then slightly biased, but I think leg spin's the hardest thing you can do in cricket, and I think to be that good and have the career that he had, I think it's unbelievable. And he wasn't just a cricketer, he was a larger than life person, and actually he revolutionized spin bowling. He made spin bowling cool. Do you know what I mean? It was almost he resurrected spin bowling and leg spin bowling, and I was super inspired by it. And I, even still now, he's an absolute hero.
Definitely a legend. Yeah.
I think that was a completely different era.
Yeah.
Total different era.
Yeah. And in batting, who do you look up to?
I mean, you see, the likes of, Kohli, Kane, all these boys are just, one actually as well, Kevin Peterson. I just like the way he went about it. It's just...
Kevin Peterson was amazing.
Yeah, just a flary cricketer, the way he went about it was pretty cool. So, yeah.
And now coming to IPL.
Oh, yeah. IPL. Okay.
Yeah.
So, recently I was watching these reels that come up, and in that Sehwag's reel. Sehwag was there in the reel, and it was Gilchrist with him. Gilchrist was asking, why don't you go into a different country?
Yeah. And he just bluntly,
and I was blown away. I was like, my God,
is that much money?
I've never. He was like just saying $100,000 I spend in a night, and all of those things. So with cricket, this also comes in, going to play IPL, and there's money, and there's a lot of other things. There's those things. Do you aspire to play IPL as well?
I'd love to play in the IPL. I think obviously with my heritage, and kind of like that link to who I am. I have a very strong identity of being. Like an Indo-Kiwi, do you know what I mean? Kind of, so obviously having that connection back to who I am, my roots, where I come from, I'm very proud of the fact that I'm fluent in speaking Tamil, I think, do you know what I mean? So I love that, and that's a very important part to me. So I think, almost like a nice little connection to potentially one day play in the IPL. I think there's a long...
CSK will be the team?
Yeah. I'm a big
no need to ask this question.
I'm a big CSK fanboy, so yeah.
So, when next time, when he gets picked up in the auction next year, we'll break this reel up and we'll blast it. He wanted to play for CSK. We manifested it over here.
We're going to make a reel of this now.
And I think CSK is quite possible because, see, we've got Rachin Ravindra there, who's already gone there, established himself.
Yes.
So, you usually get people from, your circuit. So hopefully he's going to put in a word for you. And
wow. If you're watching, Rachin.
All right. Okay. I just wanted to ask you, so you've spoken about your chemistry with your dad and how your dad inspired you, and there used to be debates and all. So what is his one biggest complaint with you when it comes to your game? I'm sure he might be having some.
Wow, only one? Okay.
So many.
Oh, it's actually quite funny. I have like a so me and one of my mates actually, his name's Nakeith, and he debuted for the Aces this year and stuff. We used to have these funny moments where our dads obviously are so involved in our cricket and stuff, and would always send us messages after games and stuff no matter what I did, honestly, I promise you, there's always something my dad would say I could do better. And I guess in a way that's good, right? Keeps me driving and keeps me going for more and all that stuff. And we'd send each other, and his was the same, and he'd send me screenshots and I'd send him screenshots of, I could have, honestly, I reckon I could score 100, I could take 10 for, and my dad will still find a way to kind of tell me, he'll still find a way for something to be better at, which is something I'm grateful for as well, keeps my feet on the floor and all that stuff. It's awesome. But, he gets into this thing where it's just buzzwords, just spin it more. Or just put more revs on the ball. I'm like, well, I'm trying, Dad. You know what I mean?
Never happy.
He's I'm trying, really. Promise you I'm trying. Yeah.
Actually, so Sachin Tendulkar had his biography out.
And Play It My Way.
Play It My Way.
Yeah.
And in that he mentioned about how his brother was his mentor, who used to, be so much involved, invested. And that's what actually used to help him. They used to analyze the game. And every time he used to, similar to what your dad does to you, that used to happen. So a legend was formed through that practice. So maybe your dad's,
oh, jeez.
Just...
I wouldn't use legend, jeez.
So do you watch a lot of documentaries, read books about cricket?
I just love it, do you know what I mean? I love watching cricket. I love just, speaking to people about cricket, theories, everything. I love it, it's awesome. And any new cricket thing that comes out, I'll watch it. I'll speak to my mates about it. Everything I love it. It's so hard to not. It's just how I've grown up. So I'll watch everything. I'll try and read as much as I can. So I just adore it.
Now going outside cricket, we've spoken a lot about cricket, or almost around 40 minutes about cricket. Now we want to talk outside cricket. So outside cricket, who's Addy?
Addy is currently a part-time student at uni. So I study a Bachelor of Science majoring in exercise science.
Wow.
And it's just something, if I wasn't playing cricket because of the time constraints and stuff, I'd probably be trying to go down the line of being in the medical field.
Wow.
Classic Indian, like
Doctor.
हमारा बेटा doctor बनेगा.
doctor,
बेटा
engineer.
doctor होगा.
It's like those blue and red pill, like that
Yeah.
that meme
Yeah.
where it's like a doctor, engineer, pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take the blue pill.
Yeah, so it's interesting, like especially the exercise science part of it. It gets me into a bit more applicable to cricket, biomechanics and stuff. It's cool. So Addy's, Addy is that. He's also a boyfriend.
Oh.
Yeah. So as you guys know, I'm shooting off to England tomorrow to see my girlfriend, and we're actually coming up 1 year now. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Congratulations.
which is quite cool. Yeah.
Nice.
So where did you how did you guys meet?
I played cricket last year in England over the winter. I
Okay.
played club cricket for a club called Colchester and East Essex Cricket Club in Essex, and I met her there. She actually plays at the club as well.
Oh, okay.
and
wow.
that's kind of how we met, and that was awesome.
So she's a cricketer as well, women's cricket.
Yeah. She just loves it. She plays casually, and she
Okay.
just absolutely loves cricket as well. So
That's amazing.
yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
Same
Nice.
field.
yeah.
And do you watch movies,
Oh
music?
wait, yeah, we're talking about the girlfriend right now.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
So long distance, how's long distance been for you?
It's tough. It's definitely got its
Plus time
challenges.
difference and all, yeah?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
what's the time now? It's 7 p.m. here, so it's 8 a.m. there. So
Wow, see, he
Kind
knows
of.
it on the fingertips, yeah? Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah.
He should know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she'll be watching. So yeah. No, so it's in a way it works where when I'm waking up, she's going to sleep. When I'm, vice versa, and then so you start your day and finish your day speaking to each other. So it's kind of we speak to each other either end, and then go about your day, and then come back and speak about it and stuff. So it works in a way, and it's nice, and it's obviously a challenge, but it's a challenge that we've done really well with, and we've got no doubts that we'll overcome it, and
Wow.
there's light at the end of the tunnel. So
Yeah. We just want you to not go outside New Zealand and settle somewhere else.
Yeah, don't
Well,
play for
no.
England, please.
No, I want to play for New Zealand, right?
Don't
I
play for
play-
US also, right?
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
New Zealand.
No, I want to play for Auckland, and I want to play for New Zealand.
Yeah.
You've said that now
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
Okay, because we've
This
had
is
examples,
oath.
right?
Yeah, this is home.
Yeah.
No, we've had examples, right? Like people have been have gone to different countries and playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to ask you about your routine. So what is your usual routine like?
In season or now?
Just in
It's
general.
obviously a
What?
bit
In
different
general.
now.
Oh, it's different.
It's different right now.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, your
rehab
rehab,
and stuff,
yeah.
right? So it's a bit different. Do you want to know that or?
No, and during season.
In season,
Because right now it would be too much information, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, not right now because the girlfriend is away. So
Sandy, don't get into such details.
Okay,
Yeah. Come on.
yeah.
You don't know technology's improved now. It's all video.
fine.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, seasonal.
I mean, in season, it's just obviously dictated by the domestic calendar. So, I mean, in season routine, that's just training day. So go get all that stuff done, get whatever I need to out of my training, and then.
So what time do you wake up usually?
I mean, just naturally around. I mean, it depends what we're up to. Maybe an 8 a.m. Not like if I have to, I'll wake up early. If not,
Okay.
I'm not massive on waking up too late. I think just just naturally. So I'll be up around 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. and
Okay.
whether it's I'll probably speak to Ali first anyways, and then after that training, and then get what I need to out of training. Make sure I've done the right things, and in terms of preparation for game or whatever it is, and then. After that, it's really whatever I need to do to fill the time. So if I'm at uni, I'll probably try and do some uni work. Try not to procrastinate. If not, I love golf as well. So I'll try and play.
Oh,
as
you play
much.
golf as well?
Oh, I love it. I'll try to play as much golf as I can as well with mates and stuff. And yeah, just have kind of the last year or so has been a really interesting one where Addy's learnt about life balance.
Okay.
And so understanding that I'm more than just Addy the cricketer, and it's actually probably more important to be Addy the person. So actually making sure I'm filling my cup outside of cricket is just as important, and it actually helps me in helps me be in a position where I can perform as well as I can. So
Wow.
yeah, I've found that to be quite a powerful and empowering kind of realization is, around like actually like, okay, cool, life balance, like connecting with family more, connecting with, the people I love more, and, doing things like playing golf, getting away and making sure I'm mentally fresh and all that stuff. So I think, like that's kind of what it looks like.
It is so cool.
Because sometimes when you're too connected with one particular thing, then you get emotionally
you just
drained,
get drained
and
out.
involved.
Exactly, you fry out. So it's, like just to, everything in moderation, right, is the same thing. If you do too much of one thing, then you'll either fall out of love for it, or you'll, you'll burn out or something. So just making sure you live a holistic kind of lifestyle.
See, such deep thoughts.
I
Such
know,
deep-
man.
I'm telling you. This is me at 30.
Recently in our podcast, we talk about this disconnection and detachments and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, it's important to detach
Oh, of
yourself,
course,
right?
It's the
Otherwise,
same with you guys, right?
Yeah.
Like even with, it's like work-life balance, you hear that all the time, like all of that kind of stuff. It's just making sure that you're all good, and, that not only are you just, like the radio presenters and stuff, but you're also like, you're a husband, you're a daughter, like all that kind of stuff. So like that's, realistically probably more important. So yeah.
So what's your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure. Let's see. I mean, I love food. I I love food. So like, I guess like, it's hard sometimes to stick to like,
Your diet.
Yeah, diet in a way. I love exploring new food and like, trying new food and stuff. So I guess like, I've started like, I just love food. Like, so, different
You're
food.
foodie.
I can completely get you, because my wife is a foodie.
Yeah.
And I am not. Okay? So there, my dad always says that there's two types of people. One who eat to live, and the others who live to eat. I am who eat to live, because I just want to eat so that I can live.
Yeah.
But my wife is live to eat. So is my dad.
Which one would you fall under?
I am a foodie, but I can diet.
Okay.
I can go on a very strict diet.
Yeah.
Don't love.
Yeah.
I can do that.
I think
I was on no sugar for 3 months, right?
Yeah.
So I did
I mean,
that.
like, I think that's like all good. It's just like
I just set my goals.
When there's a window to actually have like, that little like reward or something, it's like, tuck in, like. Really cash in on that. So yeah.
But then after that, when I start eating, then I don't stop.
Well, there you go. There's the control, right?
Foodie.
That's what we need to have.
Exactly.
We need to learn how to do that better.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Adi, we've been here for almost 50 minutes now.
Wow.
Anything that you would want to ask or say, or just ask, as like, we are viewers of the game, right?
Yeah.
Anything that you have that you want to ask us as viewers?
I mean, like, I guess, like, well, obviously, an interesting one is, like, where do you see this World Cup going? In a way?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can answer.
Well, you've got the shirt on.
Yeah.
I've got the shirt on. Yeah. So I personally feel that India has peaked, and not really peaked. So the bowlers have peaked, the batsmen haven't. I'm still unsure about Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma as the opening pair. I feel Yashasvi needs the spot there to open. We need that. We need a left-right combination at the start, is what my feeling is.
Yeah.
And so I feel
who would you pull out of that lineup?
That's the tough one. So because Shivam Dube is also proven in the last game where he's played really good shots, and he gives me glimpses of Yuvraj Singh. Like, he's got that style. He's got that personality. He's quite good. It's very difficult, but I would want to see Kohli on number 3 position. I think. See, that's the problem, because Surya Kumar Yadav also played in one of the in the US game, so he also scored a 50. So it's very difficult to get him out as well. It's a tough one. And that's where I'm unsure about the Indian cricket team as such, because sometimes that this is the team, and this is the team that's going to go and play and perform. Right now, the problem is the batting unit is not performing here. The openers are failing. That should never be the case.
So do you think India will win?
And I don't think India is going to win. I think Australia is going to have the strongest chance.
I think Australia and England.
Right.
England also is playing quite well, actually.
But they could be in a sticky position though, eh? Like with the I mean, I guess this morning's run rate helps quite a lot. But I think
They had some washout games, right?
yeah, so they
that's
actually sit in a position where Australia could potentially knock them out if they'd win not so convincingly. Do you know what I mean? Like if they actually like
So who's in that group with Australia, England, and?
Scotland is in that group.
But they're top two, right? Who's going to get selected? So Australia and England.
Yeah.
Is there one
it
more?
Should be. Yeah, it just depends on the run rate. It's going to come down because they had the washout between Scotland and England. So realistically, if they beat, or and they've lost to, both teams have lost to Australia. So if both teams win against the others, then it'll come down to run rate.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's going to be an interesting one.
Even USA was very interesting.
It's been impressive, eh? Like I think it's been cool. It's like I think it's like they've been like a breath of fresh air, really. Actually having even people like Corey Anderson and stuff like that. Like having like those guys Netravalka who played under 19s for India and stuff. Like it's such a cool country full of like it's so many. There's some stat like there's some ridiculous number of registered cricketers in the US. Like it's a lot of people that play cricket in the USA and love cricket, and obviously a lot from the South Asian community, like expats and stuff like that. So like the patriotism's like still there. Yeah, it's almost like they bring that fire, but obviously through where they call home now, which is the USA. So I think like we saw with Pakistan and stuff, it's you can't underestimate them at all. Like they're actually awesome side.
They're really good, and doing two things at a time. I think it's really hats off to them. All the players that are working and playing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's something that I don't know how it is in New Zealand as such, because in India, if you're a cricketer, then you're set for life.
Full-time,
it's all full-time done.
Sweet,
But over here, it's different, right? Even here, I've heard stories where people have to do something else on the side.
Yeah. So our domestic contracts work in the way that they actually only from September the 1st to the end of April.
Oh, right. Only for the season.
So it's and it's also just like it's something that's created in what they call the master agreement. So it's why New Zealand Cricket have done it that way is to provide options and opportunities for players in the winter months to actually explore other things. So like things like we spoke about before around life balance and stuff like that. That's your opportunity to do that. So a lot of people study. A lot of people, if they want to go play more cricket, they'll go to England like I did last year and play club cricket. People that want to work, they can get work experience with it. And, like if it's you're going to work as a, hands-on in the trade sector and all that kind of stuff. Or if you're going to go and, be in finance or whatever. Like if you've got those opportunities, then they want you to like really explore them. So that obviously understanding that as a cricketer, like you'd be silly to think that, this is you for the rest of your life. Like,
I kind of like this thing. It's very much acceptable over here to do anything else as well. Yeah. I will give an example. In last few games, I don't know, it was the India was playing and Virat Kohli took a leave to take care because
Anushka.
For the Anushka. And the people were bashing Virat Kohli.
So it's his baby.
He gave preference to the family than the nation.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So I think this way, I like this way. Like it's more acceptable. You're giving respect to the family, to the personal life, and the game as well.
But having said that, he's also set that benchmark now that it is okay to give family importance, because that's what we would do at work, right? Yeah. If I have an emergency at home,
leave, if
you cannot. They're not soldiers fighting on the border.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So so it is good that he's done that and he's set a benchmark saying that listen, I'm going to go and that is okay. And BCCI is also supporting that you are good to go, and then you come back and you play. Because family is also important, because there was a time when Sachin Tendulkar very deep, like very emotional story, but his dad had passed away, but he was playing on the ground just after the cremation. So
from coming that time to this thing, it's good.
And like that's the whole like acceptance around like life balance and like larger than life stuff. Like realistically, cricket's like a game, and also you'd be silly like if I was to sit here and tell you that my shelf life as a cricketer isn't, like I'm not going to be around playing cricket in 40 years' time. Like God help my body if I am, like I'll be broken. But I will not play cricket in 40 years' time. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just not a realistic thing to expect. So if, if I'm 21 now and if I, you know, you could be one of the best players that's ever played for New Zealand, and you probably have a career of 20 years max. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of professional career, like, and so if that takes you over till about, let's say 40 maximum, like, you know, you still got 20 years of work, like, you know, like, or what are you going to do for that 20 years? So that's where it promotes like the opportunity to get a degree, to get a job and all that stuff. And it's something that as I've grown older, I've started to understand like, wow, that's actually quite important, because once I'm done playing cricket, like, you know, I still want to, you know, like do other stuff, you know, like, and explore other options and explore different avenues for myself, to be more than just Addy the cricketer. Do you know what I mean? Like to actually have those layers on Addy the person. So I think that's where this kind of stuff promotes that more.
So talking about that, just one last question. So who manages your finance?
Me.
Okay, you do it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
so you plan accordingly that you're managing in such a way that you're going to retire at 40. Is that how it works?
No, it's just like, you know, realistically, like if like the maximum kind of like age to be like, or like the average age to retire from cricket, or for you to get pushed to the side and going, hey, look, there's younger people ahead of you, like it's probably around like, you know, anywhere between 35, 40, you know, like that kind of stuff. So I think it's just like, you got to be realistic that your career might only span for, you know, 20 years, something like that. But it's like, how can you
maximize it,
make hay while the sun shines, you know, and then, you know, have your career, have your, you know, awesome memories, everything like that. But realistically, the game moves on, life moves on, you know, like past that, what are you going to do? You know, like you can't sit there and, you know, unless you've absolutely minted it. I think you still want something to have purpose with, right? You know, you still want something to, creatures of habits, you know, get up and have a purpose. What am I going to get out of today? Okay, go do it. Cool. Okay, sweet. Some job or something to take you over. But I think as much as people think, oh, retire and, you know, this and that, live for the next 40 years doing nothing, it's like, I think at some stage you will get bored of not having that constant feeling of like improvement, purpose, of
and
like
fulfillment as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Satisfaction of actually knowing that you're like you're moving up, or you're actually getting better at something. So I think, you know, like that's kind of where that kind of stuff comes in.
So sorry, one more question. Yeah,
so that was not the last question.
How do you handle female attention now that you've got a girlfriend?
What female attention?
No female attention.
I've just got eyes. I've just got eyes for my girlfriend.
He's on camera, Ruzbeh. He got media training.
Or girlfriend beating. No, but seriously, like, you know, see, you're a young chap, and you've got a great personality.
Thank you.
Obviously, there are going to be people in the audience. Okay, if not now, at least at some point, there are going to be people, Adi, we love you, Addy, we love you.
Right.
And there might, see, once you start playing IPL, there's a lot of distractions out there.
There will be.
See, you know, we've heard stories, right?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Have you? Jeez. What stories are these?
No, not your story.
Not yours.
Still, I'm just like, jeez, okay.
No, but there are so many stories, like, you know, they float around. I don't want to name any cricketers as such, but there's a lot of stories that float around because with a big name, big fame, there's always this underlying
there
things
will be
that come up.
attention.
So, what is your plan or strategy on dealing with that? Are you going to be like...
I mean, you just focus on what's important, right? Like, nothing changes from who you are now. Like, realistically, you're... And that's kind of the thing, right? Like, it's like realistically, if you play and you're the best cricketer in the world, or if you're, you know, club cricketer, or you're not a cricketer at all, like, it doesn't, you're not superior to anyone else. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're just as human as I am, and we're all like realistically all equal people, and you're still a human being. So like in my eyes, like, no one's superior to anyone else. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's the whole, you know, respect your elders, all that stuff. Yeah, I understand that. Bottom line, we're all humans, so like no one's in my eyes like fame or whatever, like you're still a human.
So you're still going to be very grounded and very much you.
I'd like to be,
Great. So just the reason why I asked this question is because it was set up for you.
Okay,
because now next year, or, you know, when you are back and when you're back in action and all, I have your number, right?
There you go.
So I'm going to message you. I'm going to be like, Adi, an interview, please.
Let's do it.
Then and now.
No.
Oh, sorry. No, I promise you. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be back. Yeah.
No, but I really want to really acknowledge his thing, because we literally had a chat this morning. Not even morning. I think it was afternoon. Maybe morning, afternoon,
like,
mid.
It was afternoon.
No, almost midday.
Yeah.
And he's flying out tomorrow. And I'm like, listen, I'm sorry, we just have like one slot. And he's like, okay, 6:15. I was like, perfect. That was the time I was looking for, actually.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And it was so easy to get you on. Thank you so much.
No
We
worries.
really appreciate.
Enjoyed it. Yeah.
No, we really appreciate this, and it was
on.
lovely talking with you. And we didn't realize the time, isn't it? It's like 50 minutes or so.
I hope it is recording because.
Come on, Ruzbeh.
Yeah. So we'll just do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just go from the top again.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but thank you so much, Eddie. It was really.
No
It
worries.
was so nice, very refreshing, and we wish you all the best. When we hope that your rehab goes really well and you're back on the field. We'll be cheering for you. I promise the day you're playing, even if it's against India, if you're in the squad, I'm going to wear Blackcaps jersey.
Awesome. Okay,
We're going to go
I'll
there
hold you
too.
to that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play that.
Cool. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Eddie.
No, thanks for having me on. Thank you. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Two before.
Okay.
I just, just have a conversation. Like, I enjoy, this kind of a format, right, where you can actually bounce off, and all that kind of stuff. It's a bit harder when it's, interview or something. It's like...
Yeah,
because
you have to be very specific.
But then my media training mind goes on, and I'm like, hey, you're going to try and catch me out with something, or you're going to try and ask a question that makes me say something bad or give you a headline. But when it's like this, it's so much easier,
We didn't try that, yeah?
No.
So our podcast is on Spotify.
It's quite nice.
Yeah.
So I am not able to find you.
ADI
ADI.
SHOK
ADI SHOK.
5.
Yes, got you. Perfect. We'll just tag you in there. This is my personal handle. I'll do it from the Unfiltered drive as well.
Cool.
Great, man.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we have this done. Yeah. So it's.
How much?
20 minutes?
Oh, wow. Really?
No, I don't know. 60, 19, 390. So
60, 90,
60, 60,
yeah.
19, 390. So is it 1 hour 19 minutes?
Yeah, 1 hour 19 minutes.
Okay. I hope everything is recorded.